Welcome to the A Creative channel, where we like to invest in creating cool things. So here is just a quick sculpt of Lord Ganesh I did a few years ago. I'm just going to explain the process as it goes through, a little bit of the process, a little bit about my background and history in sculpting, and some of the softwares I use and all that. And yeah, without further ado, please enjoy the sculpt. So this is the final finish. So a few years ago, I gave myself challenges to be able to, speed sculpt and get a character done within a day, sort of thing. It was to help me, teach me about processes. If it could be done. How fast I could actually do this, and so yeah, I literally did. It was about a day's worth of work. Really, just get in there and get it done. I had a little bit of help in the sense that I already created the base mesh of the body. I created a few different versions of these base meshes, male, female, and a few different sizes, and I can just pull them in whenever I wanted them, and depending on the creature and depending on the character I was sculpting and so forth. So the head was specifically sculpted by Dynamesh Ball. It's a pretty cool thing. Anyway, something I'm not going to get into Zbrush right now and what its features are. I combined the two together, and then I pretty much started focusing on the body, bulking it out, finding all the landmarks of the anatomy, figuring out all that stuff out. And working back and forwards between the head and so forth. So with my background in sculpting, I've always been a sculptor, since I can remember. I love to work with clay, so I've done a lot of clay sculpts, and I'm going to do a full history and where this channel's going and so forth. That's coming. I just got to figure out the best way to do that without making it too long and boring. So practically, my anatomy used to suck pretty bad, and I figured out the only way I'm going to get good is if I learn from someone who teaches it. So there was a great course online, Scott Eaton, anatomy course online. So it's for digital artists and just anatomy in itself. So it was a two-part course where you go through the anatomy, and then there was a second course where you learn the actual how to sculpt digitally, in Zbrush, with the lessons you learn with the anatomy. I recommend it. Awesome. If you would really want to get into sculpting, you really want to get into Zbrush. It's a great course, and he's a great teacher. Taught me a lot, and as you can see, hopefully he would approve of my anatomy. I did a great piece before. It's not here. I'll pull it out later. But so for now, the sculpt, I'm coming back. I've now focusing on the head. I've bulked out the body. I've done the bigger detailing. I'm not concerned about the smaller stuff. And I do go back and forwards between the two, but my main focus now will be the head. Once I've kind of done the head, I'll come back and do a little bit more detailing here and there. The hands and the feet are one of those precarious areas that really require a lot of attention to detail for it to look, real and authentic. And so it's an area I'll probably spend the most of the hands, the head, hands, and feet as well. So thing is like Scott Eden used to point out, is that no one appreciates the feet, but when they look wrong, people know. When they look right, no one cares. No one even compliments you on getting the correct anatomy for it. They will say something negative if it's incorrect. So I've gone through and I've textured the head, and now I'm starting to go through and putting this finer details into the hands, the fingernails, and so forth, and put the anatomy and sculpting the nails and all that stuff. So yeah, this was an awesome sculpt. I enjoyed it. It taught me a lot. It taught me that it's possible to actually do a day's work and do a pretty highly detailed character. I was pretty happy with the end results in that. So trying to figure out the best way to introduce the channel, my background, my other teammate Michael's background, where this channel's going, and with creative investments and what we plan to do with it. So once I figure out the best way to be able to do that without making a 2-hour, boring video, that video is coming next. So I hope you enjoyed the speed sculpt. Just a quick aspect, and some of my history as well with sculpting. So, and hopefully maybe one day you'll see Ganesh, 3D printed and molded and poured into silver, because that's where at the end of the day we're taking I'm taking all of this as all the work I've done in the past. I plan to 3D print, mold it, and cast them into precious metals and other base metals and stuff like that, and maybe even some resins and stuff, depending on if people want it or not want it. So yeah, I mean, stick along for the ride when it comes to the sculpting, the software, and all that. And I have a lot of experience. I've dedicated a lot of time. To learning all the stuff, and to creating a lot of the stuff. And so when it comes to molding and sculpting in clay, I have experience in that as well. But then when it comes to casting in metals, I've never done it before. And that's a part of the basis of this channel, is that we go on a journey together, learning and creating and discovering ways to fix the problems and the issues that arise when you're learning these things. I think the biggest aspect of being creative is problem solving, and the ability to be able to solve problems, when you have a vision of what something should look like. So once again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Hit the like and subscribe button if you want.